Hey guys, welcome back here to the Fishing Teacher, and really appreciate you guys joining me for an on the water video today. We're going to be talking about why the back of the coves, like this example right here I'm pointing at, is a very low percentage area, yet a very popular area with fishermen. A lot of people fish the back of these coves here. I think that it's probably one of the biggest mistakes anglers make. So I'm going to explain to you guys why that is in today's video and give you guys some alternatives to catch some more fish except for going to the back of these dang coves here. Also, guys, for get started, we do have my Blaukat Throwback jig back in stock at Tackle Warehouse. We've had them back ordered on some of the colors. They've been going as fast as we can get them in there. But now we got 7 different colors, 3 different sizes. So I'll have my Tackle Warehouse link in the description to my Cumberland Pro Lures Blaukat Throwback jig link. We also got my Power Finesse jig, so you can pick them up there. Excellent lures, especially in the month of May. So appreciate you guys checking those out right there. Okay, guys, I'll talk a little bit about why this example right here, as you're looking at the back of the cove, is a low percentage area. Now, one of the things that you're going to find out about fishing is that, especially in the springtime of the year, but not necessarily just in the springtime of the year, people always run to the back of these coves. It's like, I'm up here at Lake of the Ozarks right now, and it's like every cove you go into, there's people in the back of these things. They're coming and going in the back, that type of thing. And this is a waste of your time, because here's what happens, guys. You figure, like, when a lot of people are fishing the back of these things, there's not much water back here and it's shallow. So these people come back in here, they fish it for 5 or 10 minutes, they idle out, and then another 15 or 20 minutes later, a lot of times somebody else will come in and fish the same thing. This goes on all day long. So eventually it's like there's nothing left back in there. These fish don't replenish themselves in the back of these coves very often because the proximity to deep water is quite a ways from here. So it's not like an area where the fish travel to and from a lot, almost like, say, like a point. A point is like a high percentage area, because even if a lot of people fish a point, it's the type of thing where fish are always moving up and down on the points, but they're not in the back of these coves here. So my recommendation here is that if you get out in the morning, like right off the bat, the first hour, yeah, you may run a couple back ends of coves, but after about the first hour, guys, just get out of there. Just, I'm not saying you can't catch one back in there, but your odds of consistently doing well after about the first hour in the morning are pretty low in the times of the year people are fishing back in there. Now, a lot of people fish back in the backs of the coves, usually anywhere between, say, March, April, May, sometimes into June, and then again like in, September, October, November. There's a lot better areas of what I want to talk about. Now, you figure that everybody idles off, like there's the main lake out there. Everybody idles back in these coves from the main lake. They go straight back to the back of these coves and fish it. The thing about it is the mid part of the coves here, see just the halfway back in there, these areas get ignored a lot. A lot of people, they idle right past them to get to the back of the cove, and the mid part of the coves don't get a lot of fishing pressure. What happens is these fish start gravitating towards the mid part of the coves to escape the fishing pressure. Because if you figure they run to the back there, they got the troll, it's 2 foot deep, 3 foot deep, and they got the trolling motors whizzing around. Those fish aren't going to tolerate that, and they swim out of there. I've seen them do it. And then they'll come up here and set on whatever available cover is in the mid part of the cove. Sometimes they go out to the point leading into the cove. So my recommendation is just stay out of the back of the coves. It's like you're going to waste more time than you're going to have productive water, especially if like you're in a tournament situation, because say you go back in there and you catch one. That's one that you're not going to catch in the tournament. That's probably not going to replenish. And the thing about fishing is you want to fish those areas that have 2 qualities. You want to fish the areas that you have a lot of fish coming and going into because they replenish themselves. You want to try to stay out of those areas that don't replenish themselves and don't load up again. And that usually has to do with being in an area that has, some pretty diverse amount of cover, or a lot of cover, or proximity to deeper water. But I see it happening all over the country, guys. I see guys, that's all they do. They just run the back of the coves and come out and then just run to the next one. That's just their pattern. And yeah, if they fish 50 of them in a day, maybe they'll catch a couple fish, but everybody else, I can promise you he's going to be whacking more fish if you just get out away from that. And another thing about that is I don't think that a lot of people you can't underestimate the impact that fishing pressure has on the mood and behavior of a bass, because fishing pressure will affect a bass the same way as a bad cold front. It's like when they hear the noise from outboard motors and trolling motors and electronic pings, you know, that turns them off. They've evolved. They've known that since they were a little bitty fry. They realize that the more noise decibel levels in the lake, the more in danger they are. So they're not stupid. They fail quick, they evolve quick to learn quick. So that is one thing that you need to remember. It's like a lot of times your better areas, even though they may not look as good, they're going to be better simply because they don't have the fishing pressure in there, because a lot of those fish will gravitate to those areas. So that's just my 2 cents worth, guys. I highly recommend, you know, fishing other type of places, unless you have a private lake where nobody fishes it. But if you're in a public body of water, the back end of those dang coves are just low percentage areas. So anyway, I hope it helps out, guys. We'll talk later.